Hello everyone, we have the meta snapshot for patch 13.11. This is going to be the final meta snapshot for set 8.5 because set 9 is out on PBE, and you all can check out my thoughts on set 9 over here or in the most recent video. But we are going to take a look because there was a pretty big patch and we covered that earlier this week. Lots of weird changes. The biggest one is probably the one to Urgot. Urgot is now a Star Guardian, so they had to nerf the Star Guardian trait. So if you originally used Star Guardian, but didn't go to level 8 or 9, such as like the Star Guardian Kai'Sa build, it got a little weaker, but then other stuff got a little stronger because some stuff got buffed. So you'll see why in just a bit. So in the S tier, we have Jhin, Lasercorps, 4 Ace Mech, Infiniteam, and Spellslinger. Not much has changed at the top, but right beneath it, there definitely has. Misfortune went up a bunch because Anima Squad got buffed, because Riven got buffed, Yasuo and Lulu Reroll. A lot of the reroll comps should be a lot stronger now. Maybe like we're underestimating some of the ones in the B tier right now, but definitely a lot of the augments are a lot more powerful than they were before, just because of the recent patch. After that, you have your old trusty threats, Gnar Reroll, Mech Sureshots, Duelists, built different. Duelists is always good when people don't know what they do, so you may notice in a lot of the first week meta snapshots that we make, Duelist is always going to be one of the stronger ones. Built different Ashe Reroll, Mascot, Vex, and then in the B tier, Star Guardian, Kai'Sa, Hearts, Ezreal Reroll, Jax, Lucian, Jinx, Draven, and then Leblanc in the C tier. Okay, so this is going to be a much quicker meta snapshot because you all already know by now how to play each and every one of the comps, so I'll just go more into explaining why each belongs in which, and just a quick overview of each comp. So for the S tier, Jhin right now, it's kind of the comp that wasn't really touched too much. It's for sure not dominant, but it definitely is like slightly better than everything else right now. It's super close though. Like if we look at the top, Jhin and Lasercorps, they rely on different things. Like obviously if Lasercorps, you get the +1 Lasercorps, you're going to be doing amazingly. But Jhin is just like the trusty 4-cost comp that you see here. 5 Renegade if you can get Leona, and if you can't, just stay at 3. And like Last Whisper, you're going to be good from there, standard leveling. Next comp up, Lasercorps, again, the +1. If you look at the augments on the right here, Lasercorps Soul, Lasercorps Heart, Toma traits, and then anything defensive to help your team live a little longer is really going to benefit the Lasercorps team. And you just run as many Lasercorps as possible. Not too much has changed there. For Ace Mech, this is going to be another 4-cost comp. Standard leveling, of course, for that with a lot of legendaries. And you want like the high econ type of augments, such as like level up, high-end shopping, and then even Ace in a whole, very, very powerful. And then for like hero augments, this is going to be the last 2 weeks of hero augments, so that will be interesting to see because we've been playing around hero augments a ton in the last set, obviously. But the Mordekaiser one's very good just to get your 4th ace. Other than that, Samira just very solid, and if you need a tank, it's going to be Garen because you are playing the mechs after all. Mech is the most important thing in 4 Ace Mech, as you all know already, and if you did not, it's never too late to learn. Next team up we have is Infiniteam Sureshots. Infiniteams work in the same way as the Lasercorps, where you just go deep into a synergy. It's called a vertical comp, so you just try to fit as many members of the same synergy as you can onto your team. Standard leveling for this, except you have the luxury of going for either Samira or Ezreal as your carries. It's typically going to be Samira, but if you luck out and get an early Ezreal or get an Ezreal 2-star, definitely stack him up. Oxforce Spellslinger is going to be the next build. Probably the best AP comp out there right now. A Static Shiv on Twisted Fate going to be huge. Nico, regular AP items, and then main tank Echo. Not too much has changed there. Standard leveling, same as before. A tier, Anima Squad Misfortune. So Riven got buffed. So if you are going for like a reroll Riven, sometimes you reroll Vayne and Riven, or you just like slow roll for Riven 3 if you just happen to get a lot of her. It's gotten a lot better because Riven got buffed, and it also means that the mid and early game for Anima Squad is buffed, which means it's easier to get stacks. That's why it's jumped up from like, I believe it was middle A tier to the top of the A tier. Everything else is the same as before. Just run like some of the pranksters if you want with Echo because Jinx is a prankster, or just run Garen as like your secondary tank, or some legendaries like Fiddlesticks. It really can go in any direction. Maybe there's a way to fit Star Guardian in here. Maybe you could fit in Urgot and Kai'Sa. So Kai'Sa gives you quick draw, and then Urgot, he benefits from the Star Guardian with Kai'Sa. That would be definitely interesting to try, but too lazy to replace the pictures because it's kind of like the last time we're going to be updating this. Next build up we have is Yasuo Reroll. So I think Yasuo got buffed a little bit, or rerolls in general got buffed a bunch. So there are going to be a lot more rerolls. So when there are more reroll comps, what happens is it makes every other reroll comp better because it empties the pool of units. So even if other comps got buffed that are also rerolls, the originally strong rerolls of that cost are still going to be a bit better, so that's why Yasuo and Lulu definitely jumped up a little bit right now. But pretty much just go to level 6, reroll for Yasuo 3, Malphite, Fiora, Lee Sin 3-star. You see the 3-star indicators there, and since it's 2-cost reroll, you want to do it at level 6, as it says in the how to play section here. And if you ever want to reference the how to play section, go on over to bunnymuffins.lol/meta. And then Lulu reroll is going to be a bit different because you're focused more on 1-cost, Pantheon, Lulu, and Gangplank. So you're going to do it at level 5 instead, and full instructions are down here because it does get a little dicey. Because at 3-1, you're still level 4, you want to roll down to 30 gold, then econ back up, slow roll at 50. Both very solid comps, and again, since all the other rerolls are buffed as well, that just makes the original rerolls much better. Threats is going to be the next comp. This is like the typical flex comp, because you could literally play anything. You could play what's on your screen here, you could play other stuff, you could replace Basil with Misfortune, you could replace Bel'Veth with Samira, you could place Aatrox with Garen. You pretty much just play whatever you're 2-starring that day, and if it happens to be this, it happens to be this. If it happens to be something else, it happens to be something else. That's just how life works sometimes. So definitely standard leveling for this. You just want to use this to build into a level 9 and then win through just having more power on your board compared to everyone else because you were not greedy rolling down for very specific units. Next up, we have Gnar Gadeteen. So Gnar, he's still pretty solid, and with the Morgana build, you don't need Last Whisper because she just penetrates so much armor. And you also do a bunch of AP damage with Nunu, Annie, Sona, so you just get a lot of value from Morgana. Anytime you do mixed damage, Morgana is definitely going to be the pick for you. Still really solid if you get to 5 Gadeteen, it's just a matter of getting there, so you do have to be lucky with the Gnar comp, so just keep that in mind. Mech Sureshots is going to be dependent on the mech, and it's a little worse than the 4 Ace version, but it's more consistent. So 4 Ace, if you want to win out the game, definitely go for that build instead. But if you just want to like play something more reliable, maybe something that gets like 3rd, 2nd, with the potential to get a 1st if you are able to fast 9, then Mech Sureshot's going to be the way to go. But same old standard leveling for that. Duelists, you want to play this as like a faster comp because you want to win in the mid game and early game. And to do that, you'd build a lot of lockets. They're just going to steamroll everyone. And then you itemize either Vayne or Twist of Fate depending on what items you end up getting. But just remember, just slam every item you can get. Don't be greedy and pick out specific items because you just really don't need that. Built different comp is just going to be with the built different augments, as you see in the right-hand side. But you really just care about Garen and Samira, and then just add whatever else you can. Just make sure you don't have any traits, or you can have duplicates as well because they don't benefit from traits either. After that, we have Ashe Reroll. Ashe Reroll is still very powerful, revolves around Ashe and Blitzcrank and Renekton as the main dudes. But after that, you definitely want to power level up. Unlike other reroll comps where you get 1-cost reroll and some 2-cost rerolls later on, this comp you just care about the 1-cost and then you just care about adding in more Lasercorps. It's the same Lasercorps build as we saw before, except you're running the Ashe carry. After that, we have the Vex Reroll. Vex Reroll is a little okay. I wouldn't say it's the best comp, but it's still pretty solid. You just need very specific circumstances for the Vex to work, which is blue buff plus getting a ton of Vexes. It just doesn't happen that often, that's why it's a little lower on the tier list. And then onto the B tier, we have Star Guardian Kai'Sa. We already talked about why it's a little worse. It's because Star Guardian trait got nerfed a bit because Urgot is now a Star Guardian. But hey, maybe you could try out some fun Urgot builds with the Star Guardian Kai'Sa and turn it back into A or S tier. Hearts Reroll. They've nerfed the Lee Sin cleansing safeguard augment so much that, yeah, it's just whatever. It is what it is. But overall, pretty solid. You can still get it with like Sona 3, and Lee Sin still tanks quite a bit. Next build up we have is Ezreal Reroll. Probably one of my more like preferred builds of this like previous, not preferred, but like it was one of my favorite builds because Vi and Ezreal, their augments, their carry augments are just so cool. Like especially Vi's. I wish I played it more and I wish it was a little bit better because I feel like if you use it properly, it's just great for either streaking or re-rolling with because it's just so dang powerful in the early game. Because if you get an early 2-star Vi, she just doesn't die, which is something that like is really cool, right? But it wasn't really abused that much. But hopefully there's some similar concept to that in the next set that we could kind of look forward to. But you just do 2-cost reroll, so level 6, roll it down, slow roll, etc. Jax reroll, this is going to be a 3-cost reroll. You can do that at level 7. Jax just got killed in set 8.5. He just wasn't the same. He had his time to shine before, and then they just took the spotlight away from him. It's pretty sad. Still playable, but yeah, not great. Lucian reroll, maybe Lucian isn't this bad. I think he did get like a small buff, but maybe it actually should be in the A tier. Because again, as I said before, like the more reroll comps there are, the easier it is to hit other rerolls. So maybe he's just strong because of that in general. And then all the people doing standard leveling might get punished a little bit because, again, whenever they do like a big shift in the meta, something weird happens. But you also have to keep in mind that at the end of a set, people don't really like climb as hard as they did before. So the exact meta is kind of more difficult to define because people aren't really trying their hardest all the time. But next up we have is Jinx Reroll. Jinx Reroll is pretty much the same exact as Anima Squad, except you just slow roll for Jinx 3-star. The only issue with that is that, look at our board. There's only one other 2-cost unit, and that is Vi. But Vi doesn't really do that much, so you don't end up re-rolling for that many things. So it might be better just to keep Jinx at 2-star, use the carry augment to kind of tempo into like a regular Anima Squad build. But if you do want to 3-star Jinx because you just get it for free, like you're more than welcome to try it. Next up, we have Draven Reroll. Pretty weak right now. There are two versions of this. It's the hacker one that you see here and the supers version. Both are fine, but yeah, they're just better things to go for. And then in the C tier, we have the Leblanc Hacker build. For items, same thing as before, because again, like the top of the meta didn't really change that much. There was a little bit of reorderings. And again, if you are subscribed to the Patreon or the OF, you get the more detailed breakdowns, and definitely like if you're making that last push, like maybe it'll help you because you can know the exact placements of them. Or if you're looking forward to it in the next set, definitely look for that as well. I probably will discount it in the next set at the start. So anyone who's like new to it and wants to like climb really quickly at the start, maybe qualify for some tournaments, it may or may not help you. Like at the end of the day, who cares about a tier list, because you really just need to play better in order to climb. And most of the good players, they play like pretty much every comp and they know exactly when to go for it. So it doesn't really matter how strong a comp is. You just need to know when to go for every comp. But TFT's always been like that. But I guess it's just easier to kind of see the team comps, so you just know like how often to go for each comp. But that should be it from me today. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. And I definitely look forward to playing on the PBE. I'll probably stream next week. I can't do it this weekend because I'm going to be away all weekend. And then, but I should be resuming my streaming schedule like shortly after that. I guess I'm gone the week after too, but once the set starts, everything will be like back to normal, and then we'll be good to go. I'm allowed to take some breaks too, right? But that's going to be it from me today. Hopefully you all enjoyed this, and I'll see you all later.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and of course smash that like button. Each like is an LP I gain before the next video.